so happy. Finally, we got to meet.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Little Women's Christmas, all of it.
Exactly.
Happy 2021. Jesus, it better be a good year. Anything would be better than 2020.
Same. How's everything being? How was the holiday season and everything?
Good. It was very nice. It was very, very quiet. I don't know if you know, it's really kicked back in here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I haven't been outside the door at all. I mean, literally, like I came home from work on Thursday, and I didn't leave the house on Monday, just because, and I'm nervous. It's making me, it's like the darkest hour before the dawn, But anyway, so let's do this, miss.
Yes, let's do this. So let's start. I'm so excited about this. So I wrote some questions about 2020 and everything that's happened. I've tried to summarize it.
Well, to be fair, this should be more dedicated to you. Because firstly, thank you for asking me to do this, right? Because I did one with you already, and you were like, let's round up the year and all of this. But I just want to say, I think you've made a tremendous success of your Live versus Live. You've got amazing people to speak. Now I know I booked a few of those, but no, you really have. Like, it's a credit to you. I hope you're super proud of yourself because you deserve it, and it's been brilliant.
Yeah, sometimes I find it hard to actually be proud of myself because I'm always like pushing myself to the most, saying like, no, it's not enough. But there was like one point in this year where I was like, I was reading these lives and everything, and I was getting super frustrated because I was feeling that I was not doing enough. And then I stopped for a second and I said, but I love what I'm doing. I think this has to keep on going. And if I push myself too hard, I'm just gonna block, and this is not gonna happen anymore. So I think, I took it slow. I slowed it down around September, October, and then it was just some kind of like a really smooth interview show. I was just interviewing people who, whenever they could and whenever I could, and I think that was a good.
Well, when I spoke to who's done it afterwards, I always ring them and congratulate them on it. And, after I listened to the interview and, I talked to them about it, and all of them have had the exact same comment about you. They all just thought you were so easy to talk to, and you were really well informed, and you asked really interesting questions, and they just said that the hour flew by and they loved it, but they all
This is such an honor. But to be honest, nothing would have happened without you. I remember the day that I decided to text you, and it was really funny because I was with my friend next to me, and he was like, you just message her, it's fine, like she's gonna be fine with it. And I was like, I don't know. And then I sent you the message, and you were super fine with it. You were like loving the idea, and then you came to the show, and it was a success, and then you started bringing people in, and I was like, this is sick.
Well, thanks. I've really enjoyed it, and I've loved watching it, and it's been great. And the thing is, I think it's been really interesting for several different reasons, right? First of all, you've had some absolute legends on the show, which But what I've liked the most about it is, and like, I know a lot of these people are like my friends, but I actually think the one thing that you realize is that everyone is humble.
Definitely, like 100%.
Like, talk to, no one is cocky or anything at all like that. And I think it's been, if like, when I think about it, like when I pull back and I think what it must be like for someone who's, in the very early days of this industry and wants to get ahead and is like watching all of these people and going, oh, I'd love to do that, or I'd love to do that. I think the one thing that's really interesting is that the way they speak about how it all happened, you realize that so much of it had just to do with time, place, luck. A lot of them were never going to work in music. And I think the way they also describe how it's all grown, it just shows you how organic it is. It's a very organic industry. But I also think it makes you realize how much easier it is to get into, than like like I always say to people, and I've said this to you, and you know this, like communication is so important. You have to tell people that you want to work in it. And if you keep saying it to people and just getting involved and chatting to people and not like, you know, not terrorizing people, but just letting them know, one day the phone will ring, like hence you texting me. Do you know what I mean? All these things have a way of working themselves out.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's true. And from a young person,
I found them really funny. I think they've been really hilarious. I mean, I roared. Helen was absolutely brilliant.
that interview is in my mind. Like, is it always in the back of my mind every single time I put glitter on myself? I'm like, that's for health. Like, I've got to put this.
Hilarious. And she works so hard, so good at her job, and she's such a lovely, fun, warm person. Like she's great crack, you know, and she's brilliant. But she's obsessed with glitter. Like you've no idea when you're working with her.
She's she's as obsessed with glitter as she is with Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah, I love her. She's brilliant.
Amazing. No, but yeah, definitely from like a person who's starting in the industry perspective, we have this kind of like barrier in between like us young people, emerging professionals, and the people who are already working in the industry and who are legends. We've got this kind of like, I think we kind of I like make them idols. So like we believe that you guys are idols and we cannot get in touch with you. And he's like super common around my generation for some reason. And I definitely thought this way before getting in touch with you. And sometimes I talk with friends and they are like, how is it possible? Yeah, definitely. Like
I'm like, what are you talking about? That is
I'm telling you. It's like for us because how is it, I don't know, like if, let's say normal people are fans of artists and we are fans of people who work with artists.
Yeah, I get it. But the thing is, I think to realize as well, like, and you know what? Do you know what else I've loved about it? The variety of roles that people have done. Like, I love the fact you've had people on, like, you had what's his name? My friend who was doing video on Beyonce with me.
Oh yeah, Dominic.
But like Dominic is an absolute genius. He's brilliant at what he does. But and he's such a lovely guy. Like I love Dom. He's very, very funny. There's a team of them and they crack me up. But what I just think it's really interesting because I don't think people realize I could do that on tour, you know, like I could do catering, I could be a runner, I could do production, I could be like carpenters are needed on tour. On all the big tours, there's a carps team, you know, an electrician, an accountant, all of these different roles that I just think people like, so that it goes into their head, actually, I could do this, you know, and get to see the world and have these amazing experiences and, you know, live a very different life. And it's like, it's not for everyone, it isn't, but those who love it really love it, you know, it's home. It's true.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was one of the main goals when I set up this show. I was like, I want to talk with anyone, like with every single person around, you know, because I've learned we can learn so much from them and from their stories, and they're so inspirational.
Sorry, Tim McWilliams. I mean, he's iconic.
Yeah, Tim, I love that man.
I loved him. He's a star bar, but like he's he's done everything. He's the top of the top, and yet even the way Tim will, like the way you heard him, the way Tim explains it all makes it just realize it's so easy, you know. Not the role, but as in how it happens. It's organic.
I was a bunch of nerves, you know, at the beginning of everything.
You didn't come across nervous.
No, well, it was really funny because I remember setting up a really, really white light because I'm a person who tends to get really red. And I was so red back in summer because I was really nervous.
You're so beautiful and gorgeous. You do not get red. You're so lovely and easy to talk to. Honestly, I think you've done some really great interviews. You really have, and you know all the people you've interviewed. I mean, it's obvious, but like you've had some real legends, and you've had some real, like, you've had a couple of like some really big players who you've interviewed, and you have just sailed through it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there was this thing that Helen said at the interview that I did with her. She said, it's just nice to be nice, you know. I really, that phrase really resonated with me, and with the fact that you say that it's a really organic industry. And at the end of the day, if you just talk normally, you just avoid those kind of idolizations of like, making the other person an idol, like just treat them as who they are, with respect always, obviously, and the respect for the job that they do, and that's it, and just have a good time. I think that was the motto of Life versus Life. Just have a good time.
Maybe this is the role you'll go into. Maybe this is what you'll end up doing, you know. And this, I said this to you as well about you know, you meet people who are like, you know, they're very, when I say very young, I mean like inexperienced, and they have decided that they want to be this, and they're not letting anything else come into play, whatever. And in one way, I'm like, that's brilliant when you're that determined and that is your focus. But I think sometimes a lot of people might have chosen that role for whatever reason and not actually, like, sometimes the things you're best at are not actually the thing that you think you want to do. You know better than anyone what you can handle as well. And also the fact that you're even aware of that would also mean that you wouldn't, you know, that you probably would have a less of a chance of having it because you'd be prepared and you wouldn't allow yourself to get stressed. I mean, it would be so much excitement as well, you know. Imagine how nervous you'd be, you know, your first tour, you'd be like,
to be honest, well, I'm just
on the road, look after you, give you the tips and the do's and the don'ts, and like things like you don't realize, but like when you go on the road, you always need to have a little like kind of overnight bag, so that like when you finish in the stadium or the arena or wherever, because you'll shower before you get onto the tour bus, you know, you need to have a little bag of change of clothes, just like something relaxing to put on. You need to have a pair of flip-flops you can wear in the shower so your feet are never touching those grounds. Like soap, shampoo, you know, but all things that are small, so you don't have to, like, imagine trying to carry, you know what I mean, all these type, there's a million tips of things like that. But that, you know, the first time you go on tour, there's loads of people I've toured with, it's been their first tours, and I've been like, okay, so this is how you're going to do it. And also it's all about how you view the work you're doing, right? Like if you're someone who gets very stressed in this, you know, like can't handle that type of thing, then clearly it's not for you. But it's all relative. And I think you have a very positive outlook. You know, I like the way you look at things and you handle things. So I wouldn't worry. You're going to figure it all out.
Awesome. Great.
Do you have questions for me? Do you? What, my dear God, are you going to ask me? What are the questions you have written?
Okay, awesome. Let's stop talking about me and let's talk about
I like talking about you. It's far nicer than talking about me.
All right, so I thought that I thought that we could start from the beginning because it's obviously like there was a big massive difference between January and then March. I think loads of things happened in those 2 months, and then like the jump into the like into the, yeah, exactly, into that darkness. So let's start from the beginning. So how did your 2020 actually kicked off?
I was on tour with Madonna.
Oh,
yeah,
great 2020 started.
So before even 2020 started, I was advancing Tame Impala's world. We were starting a world tour because the new album was out and all this. And then I went with Madonna and I continued advancing. So talk about lack of sleep, but I loved it. It was great. And I love that team that I work with because it's the Live Nation Global Touring team. And I've worked with loads of them before, and they're just really good people and made friends there. And, you know, it's like, it's comfortable, you know what I mean? There's people there who I really like, really love and really respect and care about. And so I did Madonna, and then I flew from Paris, Charles de Gaulle to Las Vegas, and I finished off rehearsals with Tame. They were rehearsing while I was doing Madonna, but it was all fine. because Matthew, the tour director, and Alice, our production coordinator, was there, and they were handling everything. So then I flew to rehearsals. We had a couple of days rehearsals, and then we did a full production rehearsal and full-on band rehearsal. And then we did a show in San Diego at the Pechanga Arena. And then we did 2 dates in LA at the Forum. And then we were supposed to go to San Francisco. We had a day off, and we were supposed to go to San Francisco, do a show there, and then fly to Mexico for our first ever stadium show.
Awesome.
And we done the second show at the Forum. Did we go through drinks after that? No, we didn't. We loaded out. We all went back to the hotel. We didn't get back till the wee hour, like, you know, very late. I think I got up at lunchtime. Like, I probably got maybe 3 hours sleep or 4 hours sleep. I got up and I said, so I was with the band. The crew was staying near the arena just because it was so much easier, you know, with load-ins and loading out, just for them to be near. So I took a taxi, which was about 15-minute drive to them, and met them at the hotel. And Maddie and I were becoming a bit concerned about things that were beginning to start happening. Like, San Francisco had shut the city down, and, you know, we're still supposed to go to Mexico, and all these type things are going on. And then I went and got some ramen, went back to my hotel, and then all hell broke loose. So I booked every single person on the tour home overnight. So, like, I was so exhausted. Like, I probably got 3 hours sleep and like an hour the night before or something, whatever. I was exhausted, and booked everyone home and then flew home. And I think I got a flight maybe 3:30 that day, or 4 o'clock. No, it must have been later. I didn't leave to the airport around 3ish, whatever time anyway. So I flew LA, London Heathrow to Belfast. So my family live all around Ireland. So I just said to my travel agent, get me anywhere in Ireland, you know, it doesn't matter. I didn't realize. And my sister pulled up at the airport and started laughing because I was standing having a cigarette, you know, being like, because I am allergic to everything, like dust, like the chemicals they put in airplanes with the air that goes, like everything.
Oh, wow.
So I'm standing there sneezing away, and she pulls up and she says, get into the car. We're on lockdown. You're stuck here. I don't know when you'll get home. So that was March, maybe 15th or thereabouts. And I got home the last week in July.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I basically, 2 of my sisters live in Belfast, thankfully. And I just stayed between them. Poor Jennifer and Vicky had to put up with me in their house for 5 months. God love them.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And how did you feel that night when you had to like book flights for everyone and you really didn't know, like, did you actually know what was going on, or were you a bit confused on like?
No, we did. We had an idea, and we just decided, let's just get everyone home so everyone is safe, because Maddie and I were worried that, you know, imagine if could you imagine if they said no travel and everyone got stuck in the States?
Yeah, no, that
and it was just taking care of everyone, just making sure that everyone was home, and at least that way, you know, everyone would be safe. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. And imagine it's stuck in the US for like.
It's funny, like the media around the world is so different on it, and it was such a slow build. We just did not realize what was coming with it. I mean, we did, but we didn't either, you know. And I mean, so this is our 3rd round of it now. Ireland is in a terrible way at the moment. We're having cases have flown up. We're on lockdown 5 again, which is our highest restriction. They're going to add on extra restrictions. So I think they're going to close building sites, and schools won't go back till February. It's just like, but here's my thing. Here's my silver lining. You ready? I always have a silver lining. The darkest hour is before the dawn. And I truly think this is the darkest hour. And after this, things have to lift. That's what I'm sticking.
Then I'm gonna stick with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just I miss the speed of work, the pace, you know, the ridiculousness, the exhaustion, the billion things going on at once, and the fun and the laughter and the familyness and the bonding, and it's just like I miss it all. I'm telling you now, right? I think I might have said this the last time. When I get back out on tour, I will be cartwheeling through the venue, giving high fives after 28 hours of work. I'll be like the happiest bunny you've ever seen. I just can't wait.
I think this has linked us even more of what we were before, you know. I think it's built this bond that you didn't even know that you had with certain people that you were working with, that you were just working with, and they were not even your friends. It's fine, but now you feel like you miss them as well, you know. And I think it feels like a really, like it's built this bond between every single person that you've ever worked with. And yeah, and I definitely miss my brain going a 1,000 speed an hour.
We're all working towards the same goal, which is to get shows back on the road and festivals reopened. So it doesn't matter whether you're an agent or which agency you work for, you're a promoter, which promoter you are, which artist you are, everyone wants the same thing. So there has been a unity with that as well, where everyone has come together and they're all working together. And it's actually very impressive to see. Okay, what's this next question? How many of these questions do you have for me?
Well, you already know me. I've got loads of them, but I'll just mix them up. It's fine. One of them is that I think this one is kind of a bit more, let's say related to like live music industry. So you were part of a really big show that was basically falling apart, let's say, at one moment. And I wanted to ask you, how challenging do you think it was to unwind the live music industry, in the sense that from the night to the next day, like every single thing related to live music and entertainment industry, it had to be like cancelled or postponed? Or how challenging do you think this was?
I think it was insanely challenging, but at the same time, we also had no choice, right? So like every person had to wrap things up as quickly as they possibly could. And when I say wrap things up, I'm using that's a term, as in if you were on tour, get everyone home. If you were, you had a year planned out, get them, everyone had to do whatever their work was, right? Mm-hmm. But I actually think what people probably were far more aware of was that, and don't get me wrong, the one thing in the world like I miss more than anything in my life, even like, of course, my mom is who I miss the most, but in terms of its work, right? But it also made me realize how lucky I was to be home with my family and to be safe. So I think it also taught people perspective. Do you know what I mean? Like, whilst we all love our jobs and they are so important to fulfilling us and making us the people that we are, we also have to realize maybe we need to pull back and show a little gratitude for what we have as opposed to what we don't have. That's what I think. I mean, it was overwhelming, but like anything, people in music just deal with it. They do, because every day in music, when you go on tour, is overwhelming, but you're just like, oh yeah, it's great, sure.
Yeah, I've done this a million times. Let's do it again.
I'm not brushing that off like it's anything lightly, because it's lightly, but I just think, I think people realize there's actually not. It's not like I'd say more important, but there are things that are far more important to you as a person, And I can't believe I'm saying that about work, but it's true. You know what I mean? And I miss it more than anything. Like.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the best things that the industry does is dealing with issues and with challenges all the time. I think that's what we do for our LinkedIn, basically. And I think that was actually put into practice during the lockdown as well. Loads of people started doing live streams. Loads of people started doing concerts in balconies. So what do you think about this? Like,
well, so people sometimes forget, okay, like I don't have a creative bone in my body, right? I don't, but I work very well apparently. But like 90, or we'll say 90% of the industry, like even you're so creative. People are creative, and the thing about creative people, they're very good at and also I think, and this is going to sound like a bizarre thing to say, but I noticed this during the recession in Ireland a few years back. When times are tough, when times when there's no money, or times are gritty, or there's, you know, controversy or war, or just tough times, art always rises. Art always happens. Art's always created. Art comes out of it. It's like how people express themselves. People who are creative have to create. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, you know, during the lockdown, people are bored. So naturally, and it's these horrific situations going on and their minds are racing. So their natural reaction is to create something. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love the things that have been created too, because I think it's like thinking outside the box, and it's quirky, and now it's become the norm, you know?
Mm-hmm. And do you think this kind of, like, let's say, substitute products, let's call it like that, to live music are going to stay after we go back to normal?
It's not that I think they'll go away. I think they'll become part of the process. They'll be integrated somehow, some way, so that it's more of it'll be more of a liquid and a kind of a fluid type thing. But I always think, no matter what, there will always be a stage with the band playing away, people drinking beer, loving it. I don't think that will ever change. I think there's something about that experience that's epic.
I think so as well, and I think it's a way of socializing. You know, I think humans at the end of the day, they're social race. You know, we need to socialize with other people.
It makes us happy, and even like to be roaring, laughing, or having a very intense conversation, whatever it is that you need to do. You know, we love social interaction, just being with people. Like I cannot wait. I cannot wait to go to brunch with my friends.
Same.
Hugging them and kissing them, they'll be like, "Aoife, get off me, you're like a pervert," and I'll just be like, "I love you so much."
I think this year we've all like paid more attention to the people around us, you know, because sometimes we were taking it for granted. We were like, oh yeah, they are there, I can message them in time, and then the next day you cannot see them anymore for a year. So I think it's taught us to not take things for granted,
and to show gratitude. You know what I mean? Like, we're very lucky, you know, and we are. I mean, we're very, very lucky. So yeah.
Well, and talking about like socials and social movements and all of that, I wanted to get into probably the most, like, loads of things like related to social movements have happened in this year, but I think the ones that are going to affect most the live music industry globally, it's probably like Black Lives Matter, and I think as well Biden's win, I think. So yeah, I know. I wanted to raise this because I think those are both like the plates that have like moved.
Well, Black Lives Matter, it's so important that that we change what the hell is going on in the world. The treatment of Black people, and to think that it is okay to stand on a man's neck and watch him die. Mm-hmm. And we actually, and you know, the thing is, it's no longer good enough just to like voice it. You have to stand up and be accounted for and say no, you know. There's like so, like, it's just like it's horrific, you know, in this day and age, that the racism exists across the board. Sexism, like, there's kind of a part of me that feels like taking someone and just saying like, open your eyes and grow the fuck up. Sorry for cursing.
No worries.
I'm very supportive of that movement, and I actually I found it very emotional watching what was going on. It was horrific. And Biden, well, okay, like I'm not a political person at all, and I have never voted in my life, which I'm totally ashamed of now. I registered to vote after he won. I will get involved for the rest of my life in voting because I now realize that monsters will get through if you don't. And I think Biden is all about unifying. He's been in the White House before. He knows his way around. He's been the vice president. He gets on so well with the Republicans. He's a good man. He's a liked man. He's a respected man. He's a caring man. You know, he loves his family. He's a good family. His wife seems like a really beautiful, sweet woman. You know what I mean? Who is, by the way, like incredibly smart and incredibly strong. And, you know, I cried like a baby when they announced that he won. I cried like a baby.
I was looking at Google, like refreshing all the time.
But it's a really big thing that monster is. It shows that when people unite, we can do anything we want. And bullies and disgusting men like that don't have a place in this world anymore, you know? They don't.
Yeah.
Like they don't. And I'm looking for it, and I'm going to be super positive. I'm not going to get into the negativity about what has happened. I think Biden will be an amazing leader. And I also think it's very important because the States play such a big role on the big stage of the world that it does lead, you know, it does. And I think he will be a great leader. And Kamala Harris, I mean, what, like, she's going to be my eyes on her. She'll be a president one day. She's epic. She's epic. So yeah. I think the pair of them will do an incredible job. And I'm just so happy that America, you know, changed for the better. And again, you know, today Georgia won. Like, so we, you know, now that's amazing. So it just shows you can change things, you know, you can make things better. You can make people's voices heard. You can make colors, you know, stand up and be accounted for. You can just like, it's important. Just like you can't ever give up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think 2020 has been a year of change in that sense, and it's gonna be with us for the rest of our lives. The decisions we've made and everything. And I think this year, both Black Lives Matter and Biden's Biden win, for me personally, have been kind of an awake, like a woke up call.
Yeah,
a sense of like I was. Even though I'm a woman, I'm a white and I'm privileged. So I was not aware of half of the things that were going on in the US, because half of those things are not reported by the media here in Europe, and is completely true. So one of the things that made me think the most in 2020 was the need for education, in the sense of like, you have to listen to the people who are suffering that racism, who are suffering that sexism, to actually understand it. You don't need if you're not part of it, you don't have any kind of
no, but it's not even you made a really valid point. And this is interesting. You're saying you have to listen to the people about what the people are suffering. Mm-hmm. I also think though they have to listen to the people who are supporting Trump, because there's so many of them. There is clearly something wrong. There's something is not right with the democratic way, and people feel forgotten. Now, you're always going to have mad people on both sides, and this I don't think is a Republican or a Democratic issue, but I think what they really need to take from this, they need to start listening to everyone. And you're right, the only way out of it, and it's probably the reason for it, is lack of education. And the only way out of it is education. And that's the same across the world. Like when you look at Africa and the women there, and you know, underdeveloped countries where things are so messed up, it's education, educate. It's the only way, because it's the way.
Also, Yeah, it's also a double-edged sword as well, because you can use education to how is it, to indoctrinate people as well. So that it's some kind of like double-edged sword. I think in 2020 social media in that sense has been some kind of like free, not free space, because it's also controlled and all of that, but let's not get into that.
No, I
But
know what I get, but everything is a double-edged sword, though. That's the thing, right?
yeah.
It's about
Mhm.
balance.
Yeah, exactly, it's about balance. Mhm.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, now that we were talking about social media, I wanted to ask you, because um it's probably changed our lives in the sense, not just social media, but like Zoom, WhatsApp, Facebook, like all of the ways that we can get in touch with people. So sorry,
I
what?
remember, so like when social media started becoming a thing, even before Facebook, there was MySpace, and there was there was a site everyone used to use. There was a site around the same time as MySpace, just a little before it, and it was kind of like almost like a forum. And it's funny, the very first we'll say social media, like not website, forum I used to go on to was Body Tonic. They're a Dublin based promoter. They own loads of bars and they have festivals, and they're so involved in music. They've been promoting shows for years, and they're brilliant. Um, John and Trevor, but and Owen were the three people who I worked with on it and all that. And I knew it worked with all the DJs, but they were the ones. I mean, this forum gathered so much attention, and they had so many followers. Um, that's how they promoted everything. I mean, it was insane. Like this, like back in the day, there was no such thing like this. Like you had really cool websites like Fabric Live and stuff like that, but not forums where like people would be on chatting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It was epic. It was epic. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Go on with your social
Oh
media.
no, no. No, it was about this, like the way that I think 2020 has been all about online connection, I guess. I spent the first lockdown alone with a friend, and the only way that I could contact my family or my friends was through Zoom, through WhatsApp, through Facebook, Instagram, and all of these social media. And how do you think it would have been if we did have this pandemic without social media?
Oh, it would be very different. Well, first of all, we probably wouldn't be half as aware as we are about how serious this is. It's kind of funny though. It's like it would have been a lot lonelier. But then I think at the same time that social media, and this is like the double edged sword of social media, right? So while it opens the world up, and we're all so much more connected, I actually think it also makes us far more alienated,
Mhm.
because social media is fake news, essentially. It's fake. So you can project yourself to be whoever you want, and you can be, your name could be Barry and you could be 6'4", you know what I mean? Even though I'm 5'2", my name is Aoife. But and I think it can make you feel very isolated, because what people don't realize is not everyone's pages, not everyone's photos, not everyone's life story that they're telling you is real. So it's a catch-22. Whilst we are more connected, I also think we might be losing the art a little bit of conversation and just hanging out
Mhm.
with our friends, and learning your skills and battling it out, and learning the art form of like how to get through an argument, or how to avoid an argument, or how to tell a boy you like him without telling him, these type things which you do when you're a kid. So I think it's a catch-22. It's interesting. We are so much more connected, 100%,
Mhm.
but some people definitely feel a lot more alone.
Mhm. It's really interesting. This is really interesting because I think I'm on the lucky side that I use social media to just,
Correspond.
yeah, exactly, to just be in touch with my friends and to build a portfolio for me and things like that. But it's true that there's something that I always say, and it's that you're never gonna see someone cry on Instagram unless you are in the close friends list.
That's it.
So
You know what I mean? It's like life is a little bit dirtier and grittier than social media, you know, and also far more wonderful and rewarding and magical. Just like, and don't get me wrong, I love social media. I use it all the time, and I love reaching out with people and having the chats. And I mean, look at this thing, we, you know, I'm so
yeah,
proud of you. But I just think at the same time, sometimes, like, you know, I have 7 nieces from the ages of like 8 to 19, and I have a nephew who's 5, you know. So I see the effect social media has on kids, you know. And sometimes I just want to say to them, you know, that like, you know, that person is paid advertising. It's fake. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I think it's important for us to tell new generations that the truth, to
Yeah,
let them see what's behind that, and to and for them to realize that that's not real. And
yeah,
that you,
of course.
and behind this is actually one of my the topics that I wanted to talk about with you, which is TikTok. So TikTok has eventually changed the industry, and especially is going to change live music industry, because many new artists have come out from that platform, and they're probably going to start touring at some point when we
God, I hope so.
come back. So
I
yes.
hope.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think this is gonna like, what kind of impact do you think this kind of movement of TikTokers is gonna have, you know? Is it the new, let's say, boy band phase, like One Direction and
No,
all
new MySpace, new YouTube. It'll 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 no doubt have the exact same impact. I'm sure they'll find some huge talent from it that will become the next Justin Bieber or, you know,
that?
whoever. Um, yeah, 100%. And you know, that's something I really like about like music. It's ever changing, you know.
Yeah.
It moves so fast, and I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. But yeah, of course, it'll be a huge success.
Definitely. Well, and it's gonna give us a job, so that's good.
Absolutely.
The other movement that I didn't want to forget, because it's the core of the live music industry in 2020, which is We Make Events and Red Alert and all of these amazing, incredible, like, wake up movements.
Yeah.
So what do you what does it mean to you? What do you think about this?
You know what I think about it? I think it's been really important because, in a bizarre way, I think it has brought, even though we're very close, like the music industry, it's quite a small knit community in the size of like industries worldwide.
Mm.
I just mean the number of players in it. Even, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's hundreds of thousands, but do you know what I mean? It's a home feeling. But actually, what I think it has made you realize is how many people are working in it, how many are involved, and you feel like you are being represented, and there's a community of people. Like, so when you turn on, we'll say, your Facebook page or whatever the thing is, right? You see, you know, because everyone has the, you know, they've adapted it to their profile picture, so you can see, you know, that warms my heart.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Actually, funny thing, my mom asked me how to do it because she wanted to do it as well, and she did it.
And there's been so many like grants out there for, you know, people like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been horrific, but like, you know, like Live Nation set up Crew Nation, like, and you know, they're selling merch online. I'm wearing like the Crew Nation tracksuit ends at the moment because I bought several of them for people because I was like giving money back, because I'm like, you have to. But
Mhm.
there's been so many, you know, that are just, it's a good thing. And this has been like a terrible experience for everyone. It has. But I hope also it has like made us realize like there are really good people out there, and you know, who'll do anything they possibly can to help in any way, you know, and like and that warms my soul, you know, because that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. It's meant a lot to me as well, from the perspective of someone who didn't actually start, like, kickstart their careers properly, but I think it gave us hope, in the sense of like seeing all these people, like supporting the movement from either inside or outside the music industry, and for us to like, for them to actually be serious about it, in the sense of like that we really need live music back.
Yeah.
It actually like gave us hope for the ones who almost gave up at the beginning, saying, okay, I studied this, but I'm probably never gonna actually work on it, so I'll change careers.
Well, you know, and anything you've got to wait for is generally worth the wait.
Yeah. That's what my mom says as well.
It's true.
Yeah. And what I keep reminding myself, and that's why I feel so grateful and lucky as well, is that I'm really young. I'm one I'm really young. I still have, yeah, I don't have any responsibility. I don't have
none.
I don't have children. I don't have you know, I don't even have a dog. So
like, I say this to people all the time, right? And I'm like, if I can give you any piece of advice, now obviously I mean this within reason. I'm not saying like if someone says, you know, shoot heroin, you say yes, but like if someone offers you something to try or do that's new, like, do you want to go here or go there? As long as it's within a safe environment and nothing bad is going to happen to you, say yes. What have you got to lose? Go and have experiences. And like, the world is amazing. There's so much fun to be had.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, yes.
Well, I don't want to take too long. So I wanted to ask you a bit about, let's say, 2021, 2022. So first of all is, when do you think we're going to be able to come back? This is like this
question, and I have no idea. But I will tell you one thing, right? Between the vaccine and rapid testing, which they are setting up for all of the festivals, and they will no doubt put in place for all of the arenas and venues and many other things, probably worldwide. Rapid testing will be the way forward unless you've had a vaccine. Mm-hmm. I truly do think we're a lot closer to coming back now than we were before. And it's like I said, it's the darkest hour before the dawn. I truly do believe that. I can't say exactly when, but I'm very, very optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Good. I like that. I actually thought as well, the rapid testing, I think that's a really good idea.
It is.
Yeah, because you can literally test someone in 15 minutes and know if they are positive or negative.
Quicker and faster and cheaper.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so it'll be brilliant. And I think it'll come across the board with so many things, not even just music.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. Offices as well.
Yeah, or going to movies or whatever. Like, we'll all have like medical passports, so we'll have, you know, a little app on our phone that shows we're good, we're safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And well, regarding the summer festivals, all of that, do you think maybe we can have some this summer?
I'm very hopeful. I am very, very hopeful. That's all I can say, because no one knows, but I'm very hopeful.
Nice. Well, and the other question that I have regarding the future is it's a question that I've it's a question that I've had asked probably the last few interviews, and they've always stayed like, say, think about it and answer it for in a while. But where do you see yourself in 1 year? So in January 2022.
Happier. I have no idea. In January, I'll probably be home advancing for whatever tour I'm about to go out on with Tame or whoever it is that I'm working with at the time. Because especially if it's the start of January. But here's the thing: come hail, rain or shine, it's coming back. So I know that at some point I'll be working, and I'm pretty sure it'll be by then. I hope it is. Mm-hmm. So wherever I am, I will be very happy. I'll have a big smile on my face, and I'll probably be calling you, sending more people to you, or saying, can you come join me on tour?
Oh my God, yes, please. I promise my brain will behave.
You've done an amazing job. Be very proud of yourself. Honestly, you've had amazing guests on. They've loved being interviewed by you. You're so funny. You're so sharp. Honestly, like, I'm really proud of you.
I'm so happy. I'm gonna cry. Oh, thank you so much. Really, it means the world to me, because it started as a it started as a just a show to talk with my friends and to just get away from the lockdown and all of that. And then thanks to you, because I'm always going to be grateful for what you've done to me for this show. I managed to get in touch with amazing people, and you
okay. I know, I got so red.
Talking then. Anyways, so yeah, I think it's giving me a different perspective, and it's giving me as well like some kind of overview of and it's taught me not to be patient, you know, basically to be patient and to think about think be positive, you know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it. I'm not used to answer questions, but
you know, when you've interviewed them and you've learned all the different things, like how have your interviews changed your opinion of what it's like to work in the music industry?
In a really short answer, it's humanized the live music industry for me, in the sense that it's taught me that those who make the shows, those who make what my dreams are made of, they're people as well. They are reachable. They are not queens and kings and people you cannot talk to. They also, I don't know, they also have fun. They have friends. They have, you know,
you and me.
Normal people. Exactly. And I think it's I think Live versus Live has given me that possibility of like, no, it's like an ability, I guess, of like talking with, like, to be able to talk with anyone, you know, no matter their age, no matter their role, no matter who they are, who they've worked with. It's taught me to just talk with people and have fun with them and enjoy their stories and be inspired by them, I think.
Good. Well, Elena, I'm so grateful. And no doubt over the next couple of days, you'll get an email off me with more names and more people to reach out to.
Yes.
Happy 2021, my loveliness. And we'll be working together a lot more, no doubt. I love you.
Definitely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, lovely.
Bye-bye.